Hey everyone, welcome. This is Nick Kalyani, founder of Nifty Dreams, and I'm here today with a very special guest. This is kind of like an out of band session we are doing. I wanted to introduce you to someone very special. I met her exactly 200 days ago, uh, and we created a little project. So today I want to talk to you all about that little project, and I want to introduce you to Krista May. Hi, Krista. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? Hi, everyone.
Hey, so it is so awesome to see you here, and I'm very, very excited to learn about everything you've been up to and to share it with everyone. So you are currently located where?
So I'm currently in Queenstown, New Zealand, which is on the South Island of New Zealand, a little mountain ski town, basically. So yeah, surrounded
Okay.
by beautiful mountains here, which is very lucky.
Cool. And let's dial back to 200 days ago.
Nice.
And I think I had just purchased an NFT of yours, right?
Yeah.
What was that? Do you remember?
Yeah. So it was one of my Tears of the Sky collection, which is a waterfall piece, and I messaged you to say thank you, obviously, and just wanted to connect because that was like a big deal to me. Still a small artist, so that meant the world to me. And so yeah, I just wanted to connect with you, and I think I told a little bit of my story, and then you just wanted to Zoom, and I was super keen. I was like, yeah, I'm keen to like meet my collectors and hear what you have to say and stuff. So yeah, I was excited. And then we had a little chat, and you kind of just were asking about like what I do and where I'm going, and you kind of caught me off guard, which was good though, because you were like, "What? So, what are you going to do to push yourself next? And where do you want to go? And what do you want to do?" And I was like, "Oh wow! Like not many people have asked me that before." And so I was like, "Yeah," because I've been in New Zealand nearly 4 years now, so I've done a lot of like I do a lot of hiking, and I'm an outdoor landscape photographer, but I'd not done certain peaks and stuff like that. So I was like really pushing myself to want to do that. And then when you asked, I was like, immediately I was like Taranaki. That's been number one on my list since I got here. But because it is in the North Island, it is a little bit harder to do just on a whim. So it was kind of like a lot had to come into play to like make it happen. And so when you were like, how can you push yourself as basically an adventurer and a photographer, I was like, this is the one.
All right. So we'll get to Taranaki in a second. But first, tell me, who is Krista May? Tell me about your background and like, are you originally from New Zealand? Like, tell me that story.
Cool. Well, I'm originally from Australia. I'm from Brisbane, and I have lived there for a long time now. I've moved to a couple of places in the last 6 years, and so, but when I was living in Australia, I graduated school and then went to uni for photography, and so I did that and loved it as a 3 year course and just had the best time. But I was just ready for an adventure. I went straight from school to uni and just I was so ready for something new. And so then I moved to Canada, just like on a whim, never even seen snow, but I was like, yep, something new, let's do it. And then I just like found what I wanted to do. Like my love for photography just like came from that, just from the beautiful landscapes. I'm sure everyone's like seen what Canada's like. It's just hard not to be in awe. And I just like from there, because I wasn't really sure what I liked taking pictures of at uni and stuff. But yeah, as soon as I went there, I was just like, okay, this is it. Landscapes. That's me. I was like, what can I do to get to like remote places and extreme places? And I was like, yep, hiking, photography, they just like came together. And then after Canada, my visa ran up, and I was like, okay, I'm not done with mountains. I need more mountains. Where can I go next? And so I was like, okay, New Zealand. New Zealand has mountains. Let's go there. So then, yeah, I've been here for the last 4 years, and yeah, just doing the same thing, just hiking and shooting and
You know,
hiking and shooting, basically.
there are some mountains just south of Canada also.
Yeah, I know. I did venture into the States. I want to go back. Honestly, don't you worry. I'll be back. Washington, that looks amazing.
California. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I'm coming. We'll come say hi.
All right, that's cool. Okay, yeah. So you ended up in New Zealand, and what's the first thing you did there?
First thing I did was hike.
Where'd you hike?
I basically got here, and I think I'd been here like 3 days, and I was already like, okay, so which mountains are accessible? Where can I get? Because I don't have a car yet. I was like, where can I just hike from town? And there's one like right in town called Ben Lomond, which is like one of the highest peaks around here. And yeah, me and my friend just within 3 days of being here just went straight up there. But I also when I'm not hiking, I work at a bungee jump company. So like when I do
Oh,
that to
that's
keep me busy
interesting.
on the other days. Yeah. So
Uh,
that's pretty fun. I like to keep it fun, which is good.
a bungee jumping company, right? So
Yeah.
like how many people do you bungee jump every day, or?
Close to like 100 a day.
Wow.
Before COVID, close to 200 a day. And I've done nearly 100 bungee jumps myself now.
Wow. And how many people checking out?
Oh, not as many as you think. I would say about 1 in 100.
Oh,
So
really? Okay,
nearly one a
that's
day, yeah. But that's not bad there, yeah. Especially for the
yeah.
one I work at, which is the highest in New Zealand. So yeah, it's pretty good, and we're very good at convincing people to jump off a bridge, which is a weird skill to have.
So you said highest. So how many feet, meters, whatever
It's
is
134 meters.
134 meters? Wow. So
So
that's like
feet, my conversion
about
rate's not.
400 feet, maybe something like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
close,
I
close
don't
to
know.
that. Yeah,
Someone will have to tell us what that correct number is.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Do it.
So sorry, I had to ask that. Take that a little bit. So question is like, after you jump, like, do you release them gradually down to the ground? Is that what happens, or are they pulled back up?
So the one I work at, we bring you back up.
Back up. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So then, yeah,
Okay.
you're bouncing down a couple times, and then we'll bring you back up, which is pretty cool. So some people think that's there we go. Then we got the answer 439.
439. Thank you, Chris. And Chris is
Yeah,
my old
thanks.
friend. Hi, Chris. So good to see you. He also is a great outdoor adventurer, and so it's great to
Oh,
have him here. Okay, so then, Krista, let's go back to New Zealand. So now you've started hiking, etc., and you've conquered a few mountains, etc. And then we got talking. Like, wait. Let's talk a little bit about the photography piece there. So
yeah.
how did that get into the equation?
Um, uh, with the
With,
hiking.
with, with hiking, yeah.
Yeah, I think because I just am obsessed with getting to places that not everyone can get to. And obviously, like being a photographer, there's a lot of photographers out there, which is amazing. And that's great. But it is kind of hard to find places that haven't been shot. And I think that's why I'm obsessed with both. Like, one gives me the other. And so when I'm hiking, you know, not many people, I mean, still a lot of people have done it, but not as many people. And I kind of like that, being in a place where not as many people have got to, or it's really hard to get to. So whoever's actually got there, like, you deserve to be there because it's a mission.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of like. I like going to remote places and just finding unique angles and something that you don't see every day. I think that's why I like it the
Yeah.
most.
So do you lug a lot of gear, or you keep it basic?
As before I leave for a trip, I'm always like, I don't need 3 lenses. And then right before, I'm like, oh, but what if I get there and I need it? And I'd rather sacrifice clothes than my gear.
All right.
But yeah, I'm minimum 2 lenses. I try to keep it at 2. 3 if it's not an extremely hard hike. But yeah, otherwise it's super heavy. So that's the other thing as well. Like, you do punish yourself a little bit being a photographer. Sometimes I think, oh God, life would be so much easier if I wasn't. But I don't think I'd get the same things out of life if I wasn't. So
Cool. All right. So now I understand the photography piece. Okay. And so then fast forward, we talk. I ask you about your aspirations, your dreams, and your challenges, etc. And you tell me there's a volcano, and you want
yeah.
to hike that volcano. And so I ask you to give me some background. So tell us more about this volcano.
Yeah, sweet. So this volcano is now a dormant volcano, but it is situated in the North Island of New Zealand, and that's where like the volcanic action is. But I really want to. I was a bit obsessed with it because I haven't hiked a volcano before, and I'm always like pushing myself to try and like find new and different things to conquer. But this one sits at the peak of it is 2,518 meters, and the hut that sits just below it is at 2,000 meters high. And I just really wanted to go there in the middle of winter because I wanted to branch even further into hiking, into mountaineering, and pushing myself in that. And also, just going in winter is just a whole new ball game for everything, for like experiencing the true cold at night and like the blizzards and everything that comes along with it. I really wanted to do that, and this mountain just seemed like the perfect one because I haven't explored anything around up there. And also just for photos as well, I just wanted to do like, I did want it to ideally be the middle of winter and just like kind of just push myself to do all that. And I haven't shot a lot in winter as well. So it all just kind of was for me the perfect idea to just like kind of bring all those elements together, which I
Okay,
was.
so as a software developer slash entrepreneur firmly ensconced here in California in my office here, everything you said for the past minute is like this person is completely insane, is what I heard. Like you want to do all these insane things. Oh my gosh.
It's
Wow.
addictive. I can't stop.
Yeah. Wow. So you said Island, is that right? So
Yeah, so
does
New
that
Zealand's
imply
split
there's
into
South
two.
Island? Yeah, what's the
Yeah.
topography here?
So New Zealand's kind of like this, and
Yeah.
it's split into two islands, the North Island and the South Island, and you have to take a ferry to get across to either, and it's a couple hours. But yeah, it's like a car ferry, so you can still drive across and stuff like that. But yeah, it's still quite far. If I was to drive from here to Taranaki, the mountain, it would take 17 hours. So
Okay.
it's quite far. But
So
otherwise,
you flew somewhere first.
I
Where's
flew
that?
there.
Where's that?
Yeah, so I flew from Queenstown to Wellington, which is in the North Island,
Okay.
and drove from Wellington to Taranaki, which was a 4.5 hour drive.
Okay. And then then there's the ferry with the boat also. Or
I
that
didn't have to do that because I
or
just
you
flew over
oh,
the
you just
island.
flew over that. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I
All
did.
right.
I
Cool.
missed the hard part.
Okay. So now, as I understand it, when you go on any kind of adventure like this, you got to train a little bit. Did you have to do any of that, or were you just like already in tip top shape and you're like, I'm gonna kick ass?
I mean, I like to think I kick ass, but definitely training as well because especially in winter, I have asthma, so that kind of sets me back a tiny little bit. Not enough to like stop me from doing anything, but it comes on with exercise in cold conditions, which is ideally not great in winter when you're hiking. But for me, I did like a little bit of training, and I was going to the gym, but also you have to do elevation training as well because otherwise walking on flat ground compared to uphill is just not the same. So yeah, definitely was like trying to do like a few mountains and just like small ones around here. And especially because I did think it was going to be like full blown winter. So I was definitely like training for that. And it was just like vertical. I think I can show you a video later and it just puts it into perspective of how hectic it was. But yeah, you have to do a little bit of training for sure. I feel like, and that's always smart, like being in the outdoors, you just want to be a little bit prepared. Always better to be too prepared than underprepared, I reckon.
Yeah. So this is probably a good time to mention that I knew nothing about all of this at the time. We sort of, you basically said, I want to do this. I asked you, what is the approximate budget that you would need? And you said X. I said, just give it to me in writing. And then I
Yeah.
transferred the funds over and I said, bye bye. That's
Yeah.
basically, I knew nothing about this. In my mind, what I was doing was an experiment. As you know, we've got the Nifty Dreams DAO now, and one of the things we want to do is have projects. Have artists to propose projects, and kind of just go out and do that. And what I wanted to do was experiment with how much oversight do we need of artists who do this. And my experiment was, let's start with zero oversight, right? Let's see what happens, because what's the worst that could happen? The worst is I'm out the capital I sent you. uh,
Yeah.
but but if it works, then I'm like, okay, there's a certain type of artist that we can work with that has the drive and the ambition. And if they propose a project, then what we do is we essentially give them resources and then step out of their way and let them do their thing and let them express their creativity, push themselves, whatever it is. And so I'm so glad I was right. Now, I have actually funded lots of other artists like this, and there's a few successes and there's a few failures. There's few in progress also, but I think you represent my first sort of solo artist that I funded and just got out of the way completely to prove this model. And you're back here, and this is great. All right, so getting back to the story now. So you are now on North Island,
Yep.
and it is what the like the height of winter or the beginning of winter,
It's the end of winter.
the end of winter. Okay.
It didn't quite. So this year it was not a great winter, as in it was like quite warm. And the South Island of New Zealand gets a lot of snow, but the North Island not so much. And so this is why I was also so interested, because trying to get the right conditions, it doesn't happen all the time, and that's what you want to do as a photographer, right? Get these conditions that aren't there all the time because you want to capture a certain photo, and that's another thing of making it a little bit more special. So it was the end of winter, because there's points where like you can't go middle of winter because there's just too much snow, and that's just avalanche risk and just too hectic. And then there's like a time where you kind of like trying to get the end of it but trying to still get snow. And so the week before I left, I've been keeping eyes on like all the traffic cams and anything I could to see if there was still snow. And I was like, okay, there's still snow, it's happening. And I booked my flights, and these things you just got to commit, when you've got the time. And I planned a lot to make this happen, so I was like, okay, I'm doing it anyway, regardless of the weather, regardless of whatever. I'm going. And then right up before, I was like, this is amazing. I think it's going to be like my ideal conditions. I was like, this is insane. Like, I can't believe this is going to happen. And pretty much 3 days before I flew to the North Island, we just had this massive, not heat wave, but a week of just like heat. And it just melted so much snow. And that was kind of a little bit disheartening, but I was just like, it doesn't matter, like what it is, it is what it is, and I'm going to go anywhere. I'm going to make the most of it, and I'm going to still do these goals that I set myself, and see what happens. And so I was like, okay, let's fly, let's go. Obviously fly up there, and then drive to Taranaki. And I get to Taranaki, and it's just cloudy. You can't even see the mountain. I hadn't even seen it yet in real life. I'd only ever seen pictures of it, and I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, I was like, that's all right. Well, I'll hold out a night and then see what it's doing tomorrow. And same thing, I woke up and it was just full cloud, and I was like, you know what, tomorrow's looking okay, I'm just gonna do it, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay, so pause there for a second. Now, so you've got two things, like based on a comment you made a few seconds earlier. You got two things here. You got the weather that you want to be optimal, but it seems like you also had the picture you want to take in your head.
Yes,
So
definitely.
like you had a very clear idea of what you wanted to what shot you wanted to get. Now, you're
Yeah,
not alone here, right? You have other people with you.
I had one other friend with me. Yeah, I
Okay.
think it can be important to hike with people if anything goes wrong,
Yes.
just
Yeah.
in
All right.
case.
So you have a companion, and now it is you're there. The weather is cloudy, and what are you going through? What are you feeling?
I'm just like, it's a weird feeling, because I think I do have like a lot of drive. So I have this like thing in me that's like, okay, I want to do it anyway, like stuff the weather, it's okay. And you want to have a positive mindset about it. But there is this little part of you that is a little bit sad, I think, just because you do have this idea in your head of like this perfect image, and like something that you've been thinking about for a lot. I've been thinking about this for like the last 4 years basically. And so it is a little bit disheartening. And I think I was just like, we were in the car park with all our stuff ready to go, bags packed, and we were just looking at the mountain, just like, oh, do we do it, do we not? Yeah, I was like, no, I'll regret it way more if I don't try, rather than getting there and not seeing anything. Because, like getting there and not seeing anything is also an adventure in itself. So I was like, we're here. Let's do it. And then my friend was like, sweet.
So take us into like the weather there. When you say you can't see anything, like we're talking heavy fog, and like you just cannot even see past, like, I don't know, 5 feet, or what are we talking about?
I could see it was like low clouds. So
Okay.
Taranaki, it's basically the thing is the mountain's just like this, like so a classic volcano like sort of looking thing. And there was like cloud. So this is like the peak here, and there was cloud like all the way down here, and we're like here.
Ah, okay.
So we could see in front of us, but we couldn't actually see the mountain like at all.
Right.
And I was like, I think it's over
Somewhere
that
there.
way somewhere. But yeah, it was just like really low fog and cloud, and it was just like everywhere. Like the whole of the eye could see was just like this thick. But I was just looking at the weather, and the next day was looking like sunny, cloudy, and so I was like, okay, well, if we can get up there, get some astro and the sunrise, that's more worth it than not getting anything at all.
Get some
So,
astro. What does that mean?
so astro is astrophotography, which is
Astrophotography. Okay.
night shooting at the night time in the nighttime.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So now you're there. You have to make this decision. At this point, how far are you from civilization?
Um, Taranaki's actually pretty close, maybe like an hour and a
Okay, so
half.
not but
Yeah,
okay,
not
all right, cool.
yeah.
All right. So then you make a go no go decision. What was that?
Yep, and it was go.
Right. And what's the date here?
The date was the 3rd of October.
Okay, the 3rd of October. So
Yeah,
like almost exactly a month ago. All
a
right.
month ago. Yeah,
Yeah, cool. Okay. All right. So it's a go decision then.
yeah, it's a good
All right.
decision.
So what happens next?
Yeah, so from there, I was just like, from the moment of saying yes, we were like amped, because I think that's just like a little bit of adrenaline being like, okay, yeah, it's happening. And I think when your plans start to like come into action, like that's really exciting. So I was just like, okay, I'm amped. Let's do it. We start hiking, and as soon as you come into like the start of the track, it's just this massive forest. It's beautiful, like this lush, super green rainforest, and it was stunning. I was just like already in awe. So I was like, okay, this is amazing. And I kind of like hikes that give you different things to look at. So starting in the bush line, knowing that I was going to come out of it eventually was really exciting. So walking through there, and it's just like full of water on the bottom, full mud. So I was like, okay, we're already muddy, we're already dirty, we're already wet. That's fine. And because it is a rainforest, we were just immediately just like sweating because it was so hot. But it's just so weird because you're like, you're going to be on top of a mountain soon and be in full get up and beanie and gloves and jacket. So I was enjoying it when it lasted. But yeah, it starts out strong. So it starts out with steps, and there's so many steps. Oh my god, I would have to actually find the exact number of how many steps there are, but it is so many. So I think we were in there for like the bush for about an hour, and then you kind of semi come out of the bush line, and there's just like a little like rest shelter sort of thing where you can just like take some cover. So basically that was the first time where we like stopped and like took a little break, and because we were hustling the first bit because we were so excited, and so we're like,
Yeah,
okay,
and
we
so
need to
this
like
this
slow
this was
down.
incline or mostly
Yeah,
flat?
so it's
It's
slow
a
incline.
gradual. Okay.
Yeah. So that one, yeah, it was a slow incline, and then basically as soon as we got out of the trees, that's when it starts to like. It was another 30 minutes up some more stairs, and that's when you hit scree, which is like basically really small crushed up rocks that sit on mountain faces, and that's like really soft. And so it's basically and really loose gravel, and so it's really hard to walk on. So basically as soon as you do like one step up, you take like 3 steps down.
Oh my
It's kind
gosh.
of a slope, and it's a little bit mentally challenging, that one.
Mentally, sounds like
Yeah,
it's incredibly physically challenging
and
too.
physically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird though
Wow.
because you're like, I'm giving so much energy, but I'm not really going anywhere. And then you'll
Yeah,
like
yeah.
look down at where you've come, and you're like, okay, I'm making progress, but I should be way higher. um, but yeah, that's basically when the challenge actually starts, because, like I said before, it is just like it's so steep. Like it was just like this, and at some stages I was like had my hands out just to like kind of keep balance and stuff. And you've got to remember, like, having cameras. I think my pack, I weighed it. It was like 30 kilograms, and I only weigh 62 kilograms. So, it's literally half my weight. And so,
Wow.
very top heavy, trying to keep balance on this mountain like this with scree. And it's just like, I feel like some moments you just can't help but laugh though, because you're just like, I'm in so much pain, but it's kind of funny in a weird way.
So what's the closest analogy to scree? You said SKREE is
SCRE, yeah,
SCRE. So
scree.
like where if I couldn't go to New Zealand crazy
Yeah.
ass mountain, where would I like? Is this like walking in the sand on the beach?
I would say it's like equivalent to walking in sand. Yeah. 100%. It's the same sort of like density as well. So when you like walk into it, it just kind of like goes with your feet. So I would say like either like a pebble beach or yeah, like a sand beach.
All right. Okay.
But
So
uphill.
now you're making steady progress, but it's like one step forward,
Yeah,
back.
a couple of steps back.
All right. Wow.
And so at this stage, we still can't see the top of the mountain, but we're kind of like just out of it at this stage. So that's kind of nice. We can see like the cloud. There was like a ring around the cloud of like there was like lenticular clouds sitting around it, and I was like, okay, I'm so excited to see the peak of this. I just wanted it to break so badly, but it just kind of like stayed around there because mountains obviously have their own weather system. Um, but yeah, so we're like, okay, it's all right. We'll keep going up. And we kind of got into where the clouds started to go in and out, which was really cool because you'd be in like full fog, not even be able to see like 5 feet in front of you. And then it would just like clear a little bit and you could see the valley of like where we came from. So that was really cool. And just looking at the landscape was insane because like I said, I've never hiked a volcano before, but due to the soil and stuff, all the moss and the grass that was growing was so vibrant green. I would say it's really close to Iceland landscape in that certain area. And I've not been to Iceland, but from pictures that I've seen,
Okay.
I would say it's like the similar with the green and like the dark like rocks and stuff from the volcano. And so that was really cool. And I guess having the cloud was cool because it actually lets you focus on the small things because you can't see a whole lot. You're just like, oh, when you get a little gap, you're like, oh, what's happening? So that was really cool. And then we were on that like climbing up that scree bit for I think 2 hours.
Wow. Wow.
And I thought it was going to get easier, and it didn't. And I had a few falls, nothing serious, which is fine. But yeah, a few little like slips here and there. And same thing, I feel like you just got to laugh about it. And I think basically just before we got to the hut, we had like a little lunch break, had a little sit down, a little energized with some food and stuff. So that
And
was a
how
good
many
little.
hours into your hike are you at this point?
This is about 3 hours in.
Okay, and you've gone through the green area, and then you've gone through the horrible scree,
Yeah.
and now you're rested. You've had some nourishment, and now you're ready to take to keep going.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly.
So what happens
So
next?
so we got up and just like kind of kept going, and the way the scree ends pretty quickly because it like, well, once you get to the top, and then it kind of just like goes more flat. And this is first flat section we've had in 3 hours, and so I was just, my calves were so thankful. And so we were just walking along there and just basically like slight inclines from there on out, and then sorry, another half an hour, and we were at our accommodation for the night, which is like this little alpine hut, and it sits at 2,000 meters above sea level on the peak, and it's just this little shack that they used to use like way back in the day for climbers and mountaineers and people like us basically who needed shelter for the night before actually summiting the main peak. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's
that was
6,561 feet for those who don't know about meters. Thank you, Chris, for
yes. Sorry.
doing that for us. Oh, that's fine.
Meters on this side of the world.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank
Okay. So now, how did this shack get there?
So originally it was just people actually hiking up with wood, like over their shoulder, like
They
hand over
went through the
hand.
scree with wood, with like
Yep.
carrying stuff on their backs.
And this would have been like, I think it's been there for a long time. I'm gonna say like, oh, I don't know the exact time, but a long time back when they didn't use helicopters for things. So yeah, I thought I had it hard, and you just think, okay, these guys, they
Wow.
had it hard. But they're a special kind of breed, you know. But yeah, so they built it up there. Basically, just they brought all the supplies up and built it up there, and it's really cool because when you get in there, they've got really old school pictures of like them building it, and I love that. That's so interesting. And yeah, it's really cool. It's
So I'm
amazing.
guessing this isn't like your typical 4-star or 5-star hotel. I'm guessing it's like bare sustenance, right? A cabin. Okay.
Yeah, literally a full cabin, just like tiny room. It's got like a table and a bench, and then it's got like just two rows like this, and they're just like for bunk beds. And you just put up your sleeping bag next to whoever's there, and you just, yeah, it's all just the necessities, everything that you need.
Is there water? There's no water, right?
There's a tank, yes. So
Ah,
just
there
only
is.
when there's been raining.
Okay. So it
Yeah,
captures that water and then it's available. Okay.
which is really handy. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Otherwise, if you go in winter, just some snow.
All right. So then you rest up for the night.
Yeah, because we get there, and when we see the hut for the first time, it's clear, and I still can't see the peak, but the hut, it clears, and I was like, amazing. And I take this video and I zoom in, and I'm like, oh my god, there it is. And then as soon as I zoom out, you can see that the cloud just like comes in, and then it's just a whiteout, and a whiteout is when you like can't see anything because of cloud. So it was just like that pretty much for the rest of the night, and I was convinced it was going to clear. So I was like, okay, well, I'll eat dinner early before sunset. So then if it does clear and sunset happens, I'm like prepared, you know, with my camera ready to go. So I had all these like little things like ready, but yeah, it didn't clear for sunset. It was very
So
cloudy.
what's dinner at uh at this remote location, 2,000 meters up? Yeah.
It involves a dehydrated meal,
Okay.
which is basically, yeah. So just food dehydrated, then just like hot water. I take like my own little like it's like a little portable camping stove,
Okay.
and it's like this big, and it's just got a little gas canister, and just like heat up some water, and basically just fill that. You wait 15 minutes, and then it's just like a 5-star meal, you know, in a in a remote place.
Wow. Amazing.
They're pretty good, you know. Then if you eat heaps of them, they're not great, but you know, one or two, it's as good. Although when you've just been hiking for hours, anything tastes good. Literally anything.
Yeah. So like as a non-hiker, well, at least not a hiker to like such desolate locations and all that. Is this a typical experience? And on most hikes, like you spend the night somewhere and then you go on, or is this out of the ordinary?
um, uh, it's not like super common. I am trying to get into like the hikes that require me to stay overnight, just because I like that. And even if there's not a hut, I'll just take my tent because I just want to be in the middle of nowhere for as long as possible. And I really mostly am just like wanting to experience like sunset and sunrise and like the night sky and stuff. So yeah, I any hike I do, I pretty much try and plan overnight just because like I want all those elements. Um, but yeah, my friends are always like, let's do a day hike, and I'm like, ooh, you mean overnight, right? And they're like, oh.
And I'm presuming here there's like absolutely no cell signal or anything like that, or
Yeah, no.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. But I prefer that. I way prefer. There's not many hikes that I've done that have cell reception. Um, well, big ones like that. But yeah, I prefer it. I don't like
You just want to
being
be with at one with nature. Yeah, I get I
exactly. I
get
don't
that.
want some random email, you know, at
Yeah,
10 p.m.
yeah. or Twitter Space or something like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
exactly. It's too tempting. I want the temptation fully thrown out the window, so I have no opportunity to do anything else but enjoy the moment that I'm in the exact moment.
All right. So you go to bed with the intention of waking up early. What's early?
Early would be 4 or 5 in the morning, but I really wanted to get some astrophotography shots
Yeah.
because that was my main goal vision in my head, that I wanted Taranaki with the stars, and that was one of the main shots that I really wanted. And so when I went to bed, I think it was like 10 p.m. I woke up every hour on the hour trying to get to see if it was clearing.
Ah,
So,
okay.
like 11 p.m., wake up, is it clear? No. 12 p.m., wake up, is it clear? No. And then 1 p.m., wake up, no. 2 p.m., no. 3 p.m., I was like,
AM, AM,
are you a.m.? Yeah.
AM. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
And then 3 a.m., wake up, it's clear. And I was like,
Woohoo.
and that was like the first time I'd actually seen the mountain. And I was like, oh my God, it's huge. It's beautiful. It's like covered in snow. And I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. And so I'm just like in the hut, putting every single layer of clothing I have on because it was really windy, and it was just like, it was so windy, but kind of like wet. So when the wind came, it was like forming like ice crystals on the hut and stuff. So it was like also forming ice crystals on me.
Oh,
And so I like went inside, literally put every piece of clothing I had on to like try and stay warm, and then just like walking out, just like full hood with my little camera and my tripod. And I was like, okay, well, I'll at least try, even if the cloud, it did look like it was going to come back in, but I was like, oh, let's just try. I'm awake. We're here. And so I went out, and I definitely got a few shots that I'm like stoked with, and I was like super happy, but I had to stop shooting because my actual camera lens froze.
oh my gosh. The
So
lens froze.
the
Like,
whole lens was like covered in like ice, and the front lens of it was just full frost. I had to like scrape off the
how long
ice.
did that take to freeze like that?
Um, it took maybe I was out there for like an hour, so it was happening like in the whole process. So
Okay.
I think by like 4 a.m. I was like starting to notice it, and I kept trying to scrape it off and like keep shooting and kind of do that. But every time I scraped it off, it was freezing pretty quickly. Maybe like within like 10 minutes, it was like freezing again. And so that was hard.
But did you get the shot you needed? You wanted? Did you get that?
Yes,
You
I
did.
got it. Yes,
All right. So
worth the no
think
sleep.
I think we have to end the suspense here and like seed some of this. Do you have any photos or anything you can share?
Yes, 100%. I have a little video with some like videos and some photos in there that I could share. I think it's like 2 minutes. I could just play
All right,
that.
let's do it.
Okay, awesome. Let me see
If
how to
you have
get
a
this.
video, you can hit present and just go directly to the video file and it'll stream that directly.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. Perfect. Okay, there it is. Can you guys see that?
Not yet, but here we go. We can see it now.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So this is at the start. This is like right when we're walking through that forest that I was telling you about, and it was just stunning, like so vibrant. And that's like the mountain that was just like the cloud that was covering the whole mountain the whole time.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Stairmaster session. This is me. Just I don't mind the
Oh,
commentary.
so these are like real stairs. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So this was like grinding stairs. This is just like out of it.
Wow. Oh my gosh. This is an incredible landscape.
And that's everything. That's
Who
like I
built
was showing
those
this. This is kind
stairs?
of like, yeah, the same people who built the hut, and this is just like how green everything was, and like a little rainbow came out, which was awesome. Steep. Me nearly tripping. But yeah, like from there, I feel like you can kind of tell like how steep it is. But even I feel like this video is probably the best representation. But all those little rocks, that's
That's great. And that's the wind
yeah.
on the microphone. Okay.
There she is. So that's
Wow.
the hut,
Oh my gosh.
and then that was like 2 seconds later.
Wow.
And this is how we're already kind of wet. Oh, this is the hut on the inside.
Nice.
So it's just like,
That
yeah, just
looks actually pretty nice.
it's not, yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, that was the view.
Oh, so you might have been on the moon.
Yeah, literally. That's my little dehydrated meal.
What does it say? Backcountry what?
Backcountry cuisine. That's the
Easy.
brand, New Zealand brand, and that's
Oh
my
wow! Look at these
that's the photo
shots.
of my lens that's frozen.
Ah,
But this is in the morning. This is a sunrise. Sorry, camera quality. That's iPhone quality, so not great. But yeah, that was a sunrise. So I was stoked we actually got to see, and the layers were like insane. So it was definitely worth like seeing all that sunrise and stuff. Oh, that video is not great.
oh wow.
But yeah, just as the sun's rising there.
So you're above the clouds at this point.
This is in the morning. This was
Yeah.
sunrise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ah, wow. You're all bundled up there.
Yeah. So yeah, this is, and then you can see like all the ice that's sort of frozen on the wires and stuff. But there, this was after sunrise, so the cloud came back in pretty quick. So we
Wow.
only really had like a small gap over the whole like 24 hours where we could actually like shoot.
Wow. Wow. Cool. And then can you share with us the amazing photo you took?
Yes. Let's see.
So I think you have to stop. We can stop this stream,
Okay.
and then you can share. Like, do you want a screen share?
I think I should be able to add it. Oh wait, here we go.
These videos were amazing. Do you have them on your Twitter or anywhere, like a link to them or something like that?
I can upload them. I can upload them to my Twitter. Yeah. I can't. It won't let me add the file, but I can screen share. I think.
Yeah, you
Yes.
should be able to screen share.
Okay. Perfect.
And by the way, if people want to follow you, maybe we can edit your name and put it there. I'm gonna just add it there for you. It's at Krista May 7. No, 108, right?
108. Yes.
108. Okay. I'm gonna edit
Oh
your name so
no!
people can follow you, find you there. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Um, it won't let me screen share because I have to restart Chrome and then that'll restart our thing. So I can
Yeah.
I'll upload it to my Twitter and
Oh, I wanted to see this.
where can I
Maybe can you drop it
the slides?
in chat or
Oh
actually
yeah.
like in the Twitter chat you can share it with me and I can present it if you'd like,
Okay. Yep. Let's do that.
because I think this photo is something we really wanna see.
Yeah, definitely.
So
This is like out of all the challenges, and like there was a lot of challenges that came with it. I'm still stoked because this is like the shot that I had in my head and I'm excited that I actually like got it. And it was worth waking up every hour on the hour. And it was worth having sore calves for a week after. Oh my god, I've actually never been so sore after a hike. I am usually obviously sore, but it was painful. My legs were just so tight. I honestly, like, the day after, I looked like an old woman just trying to even get out of my bed. It was so funny. I should have taken a video of that.
yeah, before I share that, like while you're talking about that, so we have a question here. So Shubham asks, how many days you sleep after hiking?
And as many as I can.
All right.
But usually, honestly, I go home and I'll unpack because I'm a bit of an organized person. So I like to unpack. I'll unpack and then shower and then nap. And then when I have the energy, I upload all my photos and edit like my top 5. And then I'll like go back and edit the rest.
All right.
But
So here, Chris is saying that we need to we need to stop talking and share
yes.
the picture. So let's do that. Here we go.
Yes.
Bam. There we go. Oh wow. That is exquisite.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Like am a truly a landscape photographer, and astrophotography is its own niche. And so I've just been trying to push myself as a creative and just like advance those skills into that niche. And I'm still learning and, you know, coming over challenges like frozen lenses and stuff and all these things of what I need to do. But I was really happy that I got that like 1 hour where I could actually make this shot happen. And even like I didn't get like the full snow which I wanted and stuff, but I was like, you know, it was what it was meant to be, how it
Wow.
turned out to be, you know, like everything happens for a reason. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really happy.
This is gorgeous. And what are those two celestial objects that are really bright?
Yeah, so um uh, they're stars, and it's because this effect happened by accident. It's basically because this is a panorama, so this is maybe about like 20 images stitched together.
Oh, okay.
Um, be able to make this a high resolution image rather than just one shot. And a few of the images were ones from when my lens was starting to freeze. So it made the stars get blown out because my lens was frosted. And so it gave them this kind of like glowing effect. And it's really hard to see when at nighttime when you're looking at your small camera screen. And it wasn't really until I got back that I realized um, that this was happening. And it kind of worked out well in my favor that the few that got a little bit frozen worked well for this, and so I wanted to actually keep them in there. I was like, oh, I love the extra like pop and yeah, the glow that it gave. So I was like, okay, this is like a nice little happy accident. This one, not the image, but like those few like stars. Yeah,
Yeah. So we've got some good comments. Chris says that's pretty darn awesome.
thanks,
Uh,
guys.
and Andrew says this is a gobsmackingly amazing image.
Andrew, thank you so much. You're a legend.
Yeah. And Chris says it's a volcano on the moon.
Oh my god,
It
it
does
does
look
look
like
like
that.
it does.
Yeah. Wow.
Appreciate all the kind words. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. And Mrs. Invisible just says wow. And
Wow.
yeah, it is. It is. And I'm sorry for you guys on the Twitter space. If you want to see this, hop onto the YouTube stream and I'm sure Krista is going to tweet this out here also, so you should be able to see it soon. But it is an amazing, amazing image, and actually, the stream does not do it justice. I'm looking at it on my screen with the full brightness and everything, and
Yeah.
the clarity of it is just amazing. I can't see the same clarity in the stream. So I can just imagine once you tweet it out, when we can actually look at it on our devices, it's going to be
Yeah.
amazing.
Definitely.
So
And that's what I really wanted to go for. Like, that's why I did a panorama. Well, it's not a panorama like traditionally, but like it's a panorama shot image because I just wanted to keep the quality. Like, when you see it and you're there in real life and you're witnessing it, I was like, I just want to be able to capture what's in front of me, like, and have that on my screen and like have that detail. So, yeah, yeah, it's cool. It's so cool looking at it because it just does bring back so many memories, even though it was only a month ago. But I'm like, oh, I want more now. I want to go back. I want to do what's next.
so obviously the question is this the image you had in mind? Remember we talked a few minutes earlier about like the thing you have in your mind. Was this it?
This was it. This was it, but with the foreground covered in snow,
Ah,
and but
I
that's
think this
okay.
is better actually. This is better. The contrast is amazing.
It kind of gives you more exactly. That's what I mean. You don't expect these things. Like you have this idea in your head of what you think is the perfect image, but sometimes you know, like things don't go to plan, and sometimes it's not maybe everything you thought it was going to be. So yeah, I agree. Like I like the depth of the stars, the mountain, and the foreground. So like for me, I think it's awesome. I think I might be biased because I think when you struggle to get an image or like put a lot into it, like a lot of effort, mentally, physically, like everything, I think you are a little bit more attached to it. So you know, like if I shot this picture just like from my car, it wouldn't have the same effect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
It's the sum total of your dream and the effort to get there, and then actually your skill, because there's tremendous skill also involved here. So Andrew has a question that I want to put up here, but before I do that, so I do want to also talk about the second half, which is coming back, right? So you take this picture, you take I'm presuming lots of other pictures also, right? Like you've taken lots of photos there, right? And then do you hang out there for a bit, or do you start your journey back? What happens?
So originally, the plan was to summit the actual peak of what you're looking at in the image. And that was the plan. And we woke up, had breakfast. And then that last video you saw of me walking out the door of the hut when it was just cloudy again, we were just seeing cloud again, and we couldn't see the peak. And so waited another hour or something. And we just made the decision to go back down instead of summiting, just because it just wasn't looking safe, like, and I'm all about like pushing myself and calculated risks, but I don't want to like risk my life over it. So I think it was a smart decision, like it is a pretty treacherous mountain, especially in winter, and I know people have died doing it before. So yeah, I think we made the right call, like I never want to push myself too much that it's going to put me or my friends in danger. So yeah, we waited a couple hours, see what was going to happen, see if it was going to clear, and then yeah, just it wasn't. So that's okay. So we just went down and slept. Yeah, literally went down, showered, slept.
So a quick question, not being an expert at all on volcanoes and such, like I've seen like the one in Hawaii, it's called, what's it, the Diamond Crater or something like that. So what's the crater like on this one? How wide is it, or like, do you have any idea?
Yeah, so it's quite wide, and you like walk up over to the ridge where that cloud is kind of sitting, and then you do walk back into it. So it is like a full crater, like at the bottom, like this, and it has like a little bit of water sitting in it, and then like middle of summer that might dry up a little bit. But this is why I was so eager to do it in winter, because it would have just been fully covered in snow, which would have been really cool, having that full like flat snow. And it's pretty big still though, like maybe to walk from one end to the other like 25 minutes or whatever. So
Wow.
yeah, it's yeah, the crater's still quite big.
When was the last time it was active? Like hundreds, thousands of years ago, or what?
It's last active, I'm gonna find out.
So we've got some good
Around
questions.
1854 was the last major
Okay.
eruption. So
All
a
right.
while ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but still, like within like our hu- not modern humans, but like it wasn't like dinosaur age or whatever. Like it was uh
Yeah.
fairly okay. Cool.
Yeah,
uh
exactly. And I think there was that says the last major one, but there was actually a smaller one in the 1900s.
okay,
Can't
cool.
find the exact
All
date,
right,
but
so
yeah.
now let's take Andrew's question, which is the question I had, so that's perfect that he brought it up. What is the next big project or hike for you?
That is a great question, and one we've talked about, Nick. For me, ideally, it would be to actually progress those mountaineer skills and summit the biggest mountain in New Zealand, which is called Mount Cook, and that basically that sits at 3,724 meters high, and that is like days of hiking and staying at huts and like acclimatizing to like altitude, and you'll have ropes and you'll be crossing crevasses and things like that. So that would be like the ultimate thing, but that's going to take a while, because you have to gain a lot of experience for that one, and you have to do a few like mountaineering courses and avalanche courses, obviously, because you want to be safe. So that would be the ultimate goal for me, and so I think I'd probably start doing a few bigger ones to like work my way up to that, and so that would be it. And then if that's the ultimate one, but I do have plans to go to Europe next year, so if that one gets pushed back a little bit, it would have to be the Matterhorn in Switzerland, which is
Yeah,
the classic, like the Toblerone looking mountain, and that's pretty epic. And I'm a big climber as well, and so that would be one. That would
yeah.
be one for the books as well. That's
It sounds
so that
like
one's
we have to design a Nifty Dreams flag that you can go plant up there for
Oh
us.
my god, that would be awesome.
All right. Wow.
Literally. Yes.
And so Chris has another question, which is the real question is how many photos taken on the entire trip, coming from someone who takes far too many?
Oh my god, I know, right? Like I always take way too many, but I'd rather take too many and then not capture the exact moment. I think I took on this trip, it was like just this 24-hour period. It was a lot. It was like I think it was like 700 to 1,000. It was a lot because I was obviously like stitching panoramas as well, and so I was taking like a lot of images left to right. And I'm a big on the go capture as well. So I love catching like the little moments, like the ones you saw of like the little moss and like my friend hiking. And I love getting like the journey as well. So yeah, I take a lot.
It's cool. And this particular image, uh, do I get it? Or is that the deal? I don't remember what our
Yeah,
deal
yeah,
was.
that was the deal. Yeah,
Cool. All right. This is exciting. But the others, like, are you gonna mint any others from this
yeah,
the like a series, right?
yeah,
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 I
yeah.
think that
Definitely.
that will be very very exciting and great for other people to get their hands on. Like this is amazing. And
Thank you.
yeah, so how long do you estimate you will need to train for let's say the Swiss
The Swiss one,
expedition?
I
Yeah.
would say it's gonna take. I would say like a couple weeks to like months of like continuous like alpine climbing for sure. It's kind of works out well because it's coming into my summer now, and by the time I want to go to Europe, it'll actually be their summer. Um, so that's perfect. So I can keep training like throughout the whole time and not have to like go through like I said, lull in winter where I can't be like outside as much. Um, so I'm gonna keep doing that and start like yeah. There's a few mountains around here which are like similar to what you have to do for the Matterhorn, not as grand. They're just smaller ones. So yeah, I'm just gonna tick a few of those off this year and yeah, keep going, pushing towards that.
Yeah, so I have a question from Tech Tommy on the Twitter space. Asks, what compels you?
I think photography is definitely the capella. I it just it it just pushes me to do these things. Like I love hiking and climbing and adventuring and all those sorts of things, but photography really is the thing that pushes me the most. I don't think I'd be the same for me if I didn't have my camera, and that's not the same for everyone, which is absolutely so fine. But for me, it's the photos. It's like getting to experiencing it physically and then being able to capture that and having a tangible object of what you just did is like the best. Even if it's not the best photo I've ever taken, or if it is, or I didn't get like any hero shots that I want to like mint or print or anything. Like even having a picture of like just something that I know I've accomplished and like it being in a unique environment. I think that's like what drives me because like photography is mostly like I do that for myself. Like I obviously do it for a job and things like this, but like it's mostly for myself. So like that's yeah, I do all these things because that drives me, and yeah.
Wow. So, well, Krista, we are about an hour here, and it's been amazing to hear about your journey, to hear about your drive, and it's really inspiring. Like we metaphorically talk about mountains and all that, but you literally go climb mountains, and just for a photo, and just because you have this vision this dream that you want to do it. And and like I started off by saying, my goal was to sort of prototype that can we make this model work at scale, because I know there's lots and lots of dreamers. We have we call the people in the DAO dreamers,
Yeah.
the artists. We have lots of dreamers who want to go to crazy ass places, and even to remote villages, and shoot the people there, and the this will you're sort of a pioneer in that regard, because you've established, like, okay, here's how the model would work. I did ask you when you got back to kind of do a write up. I hope you will share that on Twitter or someplace like that, because it
Yeah,
is a really good write up. And
thanks.
we scheduled this at a time that worked out for both of us, but it was not a, a good time for, like, when most of the people are available. So what
Yeah,
we'll do is we'll put this video out there, and give more people a chance to look at your amazing work and hear about your story. It's an incredible story, and I am inspired by what you've done, and I certainly want to continue to support you on your journey ahead, and on the next mountain and the next mountain, and see where it goes. So, any closing words from you?
I just wanted to say thank you so much for all those kind words, and like just thank you so much like for what you're doing, and like Nifty Dreams, and just like you said, there's so many people out there with this like drive and passion and just dream, and like some things for everyone there's just not possible, like there's so many factors that come into it that maybe some people can't do over others because of so many reasons, and like you're kind of like eliminating those reasons. And when you were just like, yeah, what drives you, what do you want to do, and then I said it, and then you were like, yeah, okay, go do that, I was like, what? Like I didn't think it was just possible to make it that easy, like you just. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make this like this is happening, like I have no excuse now. And like that was the most amazing thing, and this is the first time where someone's actually just given me full reign on a project like this and with my full vision. And I'm just like, I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful, and thank you so much for like continuing this and like letting me talk about my story and stuff. And yeah, I hope it is inspiring. Like I love hearing from other artists, and so like I hope it does like give someone else like a little bit of a drive to like try something new or like get in the outdoors. Or if anyone has any questions, you can message me and I'm happy to like share more. Or yeah, so just thank you, and thanks for everyone for listening. That's so nice.
Yeah. So we are in the making dreams a reality business as much as possible, and so it's folks like you that inspire, and we'll forge on ahead, and hopefully we'll make some other dreams come true. And who knows, maybe there's another dreamer who hears about this and says, "I want to do that with you," and then we have a team or something that goes and does this, and
Yes.
that would be just amazing. Yeah, and as Andrew says it really well, it's amazing what people can do when the barriers, self-imposed or otherwise, are removed.
That's
And
a perfect way to
honestly,
put it.
capital is always a barrier for a lot of people. Like, we have dreams, but the resources are a problem. And if we can make it easy for people to get those resources and just do it for the pure joy of art, it's just art. It's like,
Yeah.
there has to be a means by which we can do this, and I think we've got that with the DAO now, and I'm excited about that. So thank you so much, Krista. Thanks everyone who listen in on the YouTube stream and on Twitter Space, and who are going to watch this video later. And dream on, and dream big. Yeah.
Yes.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you so much. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.